Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Start or Stream Week 8 with me, your host, Chuck Bass. What a week, guys. We are halfway through the fantasy football regular season. We have been absolutely crushing the plays this year while simultaneously giving out some of the single worst picks since the Nixon administration, if I'm being honest. Now, we did give out some stinkers, Lexney, but the good news is almost everybody stuck. So let's do a little quick audit before we hop into the start sits here, so we can say where we did well and where we screwed. All right, where I smashed last week: Vidal, Pacheco, AJ Brown, Olave, Pierce, QJ, DJ Moore, Brian Thomas Jr., Jerry Jeudy, and Orlando Gadsden. Now, some of those were great picks. Some of those I told you to avoid. Here's where I blew it, and boy, this is a list. Trevion Henderson was the Pelosi play of the week. We all know how that went. Matthew Golden did not turn in a nice performance. Travis Etienne laid an egg basically in London. Bill was our fifth projected highest point scorer of the week at the running back position. He had one of the all-time duds, which didn't really make a whole lot of sense. Keenan Allen kind of showed up on the scene, screwed me over. Xavier Worthy was the odd man out in Kansas City, and Kendrick Bourne. It was just a Christian McCaffrey show. Not even George Kittle didn't even score a point. So there's a little editing to go on there. So I want to apologize to Michael Colissimo, Donald, and several others who, it's about you guys. It's not about me. I don't get on here and do this show so that I can make money or so that my picks can be the greatest picks in the world. I'm trying to help you guys out and have a little fun while we're at it. So let's kind of get ready to get rocking here. And of course, good luck. We're all counting on you. Thank you, Chuck. I appreciate that. Just want to take a second and give you the Matthew McConaughey. ¿Cómo está? Now, before we get to some more start sits here, why don't we just run over a few of our plays of the week, which is going to be a lot of fun here. I've got a few dingers we can rock out here. Let's talk about some guys that we like. We really like Spencer. Let's go quarterback. We really like Spencer Rattler this week as a deep streaming option. Home versus Tampa Bay, favorable matchup, potential shootout. Olave and Shaheed are playing top of their game. And Buccaneer secondary has they played a pretty good week, I will say, against the Lions. They shut the run game down, except for that one long Gibbs touchdown, which kind of salvaged our day. But let's not. I don't want to. That's a secondary that is incredibly vulnerable, and I say that wearing the Tampa Bay Buccaneer shirt. So Spencer Rattler is a nice one there. I also like Andy Dalton as a streamer. I think he's a significantly better thrower than Bryce Young. Buffalo has been getting wrecked lately. They're a 7-point dog, so. Got Ted Coker's running back into form. He's obviously a little bit risky, but there's a home dog element to Andy Dalton stepping in here. Oh, we've got some start sits showing up. Let's get it. The YouTube link. If you are watching this show on X, you can go to YouTube and go to Player Profiler, and this will be dropping live. But why don't I just be one of those good hosts who just drops it in the chat? Can I even do that? Do I even have the technology? Are we capable? Let's see here. Can we get a Shibuya roll call here? And then I'll get you guys rocking and rolling. Okay, let's see if that works. Okay. Either way, who do we got first here? Who wants some action? Jonathan Santiago wants to know, good morning. Diggs or Dubs in PPR? Also, if London sits, would you drop JMO to pick up Mims, Troy Franklin, or Josh Downs this week? That's a tricky one. Troy Franklin's definitely an intriguing name. I think he's like wide receiver 22 overall in targets. He's coming off of a 10-target game. Let's work backwards from that, though. And I'll give you guys the player profiler ranks here as well. The big dogs, the big brains here at Player Profiler have their weekly ranks updated, and I can get that to you now. So we have Diggs is pretty up there. Diggs is our wide receiver 14 on the week. He's projected 14.7 full PPR points. We had a coffee break here. The lovely is bringing me a little action. Good morning, babe. Cheers, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's get rolling. 14.7 full PPR projected points, and then we have got Dobbs staying alive. Wide receiver 22 on the week, going into Pittsburgh. He's at 12.7. That's a funny one. I mean, I was kind of the Patriots. I feel like they've burned me a little bit too much for me to give them a whole lot of love. They're playing the Browns. That's tough sledding all the way around. And then, of course, we saw what Joe Flacco was able to do against the Steelers defense last week. Now, the Steelers did have a full 10 days to prep, but they're just old and slow. And this Packers offense is like the antithesis of that. So I would probably go Dobbs there. Yeah, feel pretty good about that one. And then I would, if London sits, I would probably, I would drop Jamison Williams for maybe Troy Franklin to play him this week. I just like what we're getting out of Troy Franklin. He's only our wide receiver 44 on the week, 9.5 projected full PPR points, but the implied point total for that game is 26 for the Broncos. So they think they're going to put up points. And I mean, if you don't think it's going to be RJ Harvey, if you don't think it's going to be Mims, if you don't think it's going to be Evan Ingram, it's going to be Sutton or Troy Franklin. That's expert analysis right there, baby. Jacob, the bounce back king. Let's go. Let's do bounce back. Good morning, guys. That's damn good French press. Pick one running back and pick one flex. Woody Marks, Rashee Rice, Bill, Pacheco, Wan'Dale Robinson, Scarrold, Terrell, and Pickens full PPR. Well, the highest ranked guys here amongst all of these are going to be, of course, Rashee Rice. He's our wide receiver 3 on the week, 17 full PPR points. Where's Pickens at? Because Pickens can't be too much further down the list, right? Pickens is he's our wide receiver 11, 15.3. The Pickens thing's interesting because how much Surtain is he going to get if they move Lamb inside, outside? Surtain doesn't traditionally shadow those guys. Now, he did do it with Jamar Chase the last time they played. And, so do they treat the elite wide receivers a little bit differently than they do just the top dog? I'm not sure. But we saw this happen with Pickens when they played the Jets, right? He was covered. He was more or less blanketed all game by Sauce Gardner. And then Dak just went Dak and hit him on a deep shot and 12 points, basically. So that can happen at any given time. I kind of look at this Cowboys offense like if you were looking at those prime Peyton Manning years, you were never not playing the wide receivers because of the matchup, because you always knew Peyton Manning was going to get him the ball deep down the field at some point or in the end zone. I look at that right there. So I would go with Rice and I would go with Pickens there. Justin Fields versus Rattler is my toughest. That's a tough one. I mean, Justin, they really just hit him on where do I have one for this? Come on, where are you, baby? Did you guys see the video of Woody Johnson realizing that Justin Fields was going to be his starting quarterback this week?
Who is it? Who is it, Michael? Who?
It's okay.
No. No. Oh my God! Oh my God! No!
That being said, I'm starting Justin Fields just because you guys know the Fields cycle. 25 points, 5 points, benched, backup, thrust into the lineup, 25 points, and then 5 points next week. So they don't have a backup they can really pull him for. I don't think that's going to be an option. They're going to play him all game. Where is let's see, he's our quarterback 13 on the week, 18.5 projected points. Their implied point total is only 18, so they don't expect a lot, but this might be the last time you can ever play him. Don't you want to be there for the last time you could ever play Justin Fields? Thoughts on Leggett this week with the Red Rocket quarterback? I like Leggett. I like what we've been getting out of him. The hyper targeting has been there. And he has the draft capital to deserve to be used like this. And I think he's a decent player. So this week, he's our wide receiver 43, 9.6. Shootout, Buffalo. I just think that there's all kinds of stuff. Andy Dalton, quality vet, can get the job done. Good morning, Jacob. Woody or Golden today? Man, I like what I've been seeing out of Woody. I think he's been a fun spark bug player. Nick Chubb is whatever little steam he had left. He is kind of running out of it. We have Woody as our running back 15 on the week going into San Francisco, 15.2 projected PPR points. They're just expecting him to kind of take the mantle here from Chubb, which if you've been watching these games, and I know you guys have because you're sick freaks on a start-sit show at 8 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday after you were drinking all day. I'm going Woody Marks there. Feels pretty good. Golden, I think we're waiting until I want to be a week late on the Matthew Golden breakout. Then I do want to continue to be a week early. That's where I've landed on that one. I'm also going to try and be a little bit faster for you guys today because I don't want you guys waiting 10, 20 minutes for a start sit when there's only like 200 of us in the channel right now. Pick one RBK. Marks, Rico, Bill. Okay, we already covered that. Slashy. God, I love you, Slashy. Theo Johnson or Downs. Let's get the Theo Johnson rank up here, who really only salvaged this week with a fluke touchdown last week. He is our tight end, 17 on the week, 9 points going into Philly. Versus Josh Downs, who has looked good, but who hasn't looked good on this team. Downs is our wide receiver 37 on the week, so 10 points, 10 projected PPR points. The thing there is that the Colts have the highest projected point total of the week with 30.5 points. So that means you're looking at like 4-ish touchdowns, depending on how much they really take it to Tennessee and who hasn't taken it to Tennessee. Michael Pittman's going to score. Taylor's going to score. Tyler Warren's probably the most likely to score. So I still like Downs there out of this one. If Downs has 7 points and Theo Johnson has 11 points, you're not really going to feel like you lost the matchup here, but it's down. There's more. It's as likely that Downs has 13 and Johnson has like 3. So that's where I'm skewing today. The Brian Thomas Jr. trade news is not real. No trade news is real. There's no substantiated evidence that there's any intention for any of these teams to ever move any of these players any year. All trade talk from professional podcasts, fantasy podcasts, gambling podcasts, ESPN, Fox, all Diana Rossini, all this bullshit reporting going on. It's not worth your time. It's not worth my time. Nothing ever happens. This is the meme. This is the nothing ever happens. It's like they're going to move. Like this happened a couple years ago, and the big name that got traded was like Blake Groupie getting traded or Will Lutz getting traded. Don't waste your time with trade reports, guys. Morning, Chuck, from the other side of the pond. Good morning. Sorry you guys don't have a game this week. Or am I sorry? They've all been ass in a bag. At the flex start, Chase Brown or Tet McMillan. That's fun. Chase Brown, signs of life. He was one of the biggest fallers. Evan and I did our biggest winners and losers of the season so far. And Chase Brown was definitely one of the biggest ones. He has outside of Caleb Johnson and Trevion Henderson, which are 2 rookies, he has the single lowest return on investment of any player in drafts that has not been injured this year. So that's a pretty tough pill to swallow. Not getting the rushing volume, offensive line's bad. We have him this week at RB22. You're just hoping he gets peppered with targets, 12.8 projected PPR points. Compare that to Tetaroa McMillan, who's our wide receiver 12. So the big dogs at Player Profiler think that T-Mac is going to he's going to pop a nice little 15 bagger on the Bills, and I sure as hell think he can. Would love to see a bump in passing volume with Andy Dalton there, so I'll go with McMillan there. I just don't think the ceiling is there for Brown like it was at any point since we've seen him on the field. So when you have a potential strong wide receiver coming into the mix, I'm going to lean that way. If you're talking like Wandale or who I do like this week, or Rashid Shaheed or Kendrick Bourne, then I would lean Brown. But those upper dogs, we get a few. Higgins or Troy Franklin. Higgins, Joe Flacco is going to take 3-step drop back, get the ball out to him immediately. T. Higgins is our wide receiver 26 on the week. But if Sauce is shading Chase, then it's free eats for Higgins. So I feel pretty good about that. Money Manny wants to know, DJ Moore. Nope. Can already tell you no on that one. Michael Pittman, maybe. McLaurin, Mooney, Kittle, Troy Franklin. The Terry thing is interesting. Mariota steps into this offense. When Mariota gets the start as opposed to being thrusted in as the starter, this offense hasn't really missed a beat. I mean, the win-losses may have been not quite there, but the actual performance of the offense isn't quite there. Is Sauce out this week? I had not seen yet. Is Sauce Gardner not playing? I would love to get a fact check on that, because either way, that makes you feel pretty good about what might be going on there. Sorry to interrupt that midstream. No Sauce Gardner. Yeah, you're correct. He came out yesterday. So yeah, start up all your Bengals pass catchers. I wouldn't even mind Noah Fant this week. I think that'd be a lot of fun if you guys are wanting to get a little freaky with it. But yeah, here, Mooney, Kittle, Troy Franklin. The thing about Kittle is Kittle really going to give us back-to-back no-nos? He was our top-ranked tight end last week. Goose egg. This week, he's down to number 3. Tucker Kraft and Tyler Warren are getting that respect that they deserve. I guess I would also love to know your format. I'm kind of feeling like Pittman or Kittle are the play here. If it's full PPR, with Mac Jones back in again, I might lean Pittman. I'll pick 2, Pittman and Kittle. Kittle and Pittman. There we go. Ben wants to know, hey, yo, start Woody Marks or Dowdle. I'm riding Rico Dowdle till the wheels fall off, guys. They're giving him full series. He looked tremendous on as many touches almost as Chuba last week. He doubled his yards per carry, which, yards per carry isn't a fantasy stat. And it's oftentimes more of an offensive line stat than it is anything. But within the same game, you're seeing one player outproduce. He's got the long, explosive runs. We have Rico as our RB22 on the week, and I think that's his floor, 11.8 projected points. Woody Marks this is where I'll differentiate from, the player profile or higher ups. This is why I'm a lower down. I like Rico Dowdle here a lot. So Manungai or Brashad Smith. Here we go. The waiver wire plays of the week. Couple of guys we just picked up recently. We're trying to figure out who the hell are we going to play. This is a hilarious one because it's just like, I know what you're going through and I know what you need. And I know that you're probably not going to get it because I'm not going to get it either. let's see here. Let's give us the projections here. They're projected right next to each other in our ranks this week, guys. Brashard Smith, RB 31 on the week. Kyle Monangai, RB 32 on the week. 8.9 projected PPR points versus 8.6 for Monangai. That Ravens Bears game, if I'm not mistaken, is the highest projected point total of this opening slate. And I feel pretty good about anybody you want to start in that one. And the thing is, they're trying to limit what Caleb can do because he's been up and down. Like Caleb Williams to me is like a top-ranked Madden player whose mom keeps making him share the controller with his like 9-year-old brother. And so you have these insane, brilliant plays with these like he dropped the controller on the ground. So, and you can see the offense evolving towards the run game as the season goes on. So I like Monangai in this one over Brashard Smith. I just think Brashard's role is a little bit more game script dependent and not necessarily baked into the game plan like it might be with the running game for Chicago. So I'll go with Monangai on that one. DJ Moore, Travis Hunter. I mean, it's Travis Hunter City, baby. Travis Hunter is here and he is here to stay. He is our, where are you on the week? No chat. Where? Should I cut DJ Moore for Travis Hunter? See, that's why the caffeine's just not kicking in, guys. Yes, absolutely. I would cut DJ Moore for Darnell Mooney. I would cut DJ Moore for Jalen Coker. I would cut DJ Moore for Hollywood Brown, Kayshon Boutte. I don't want 1 second of DJ Moore on any of my teams. He is way up there in snap share in the league, and he's way down here in production, and the team's performing well. They don't have any reason to roll out DJ Moore. We are going to Jerome Ford and A.D. Mitchell level trades. Yes, as we should be. This is week 8, baby. Week 8. Can't hold anything back now. Pick 2, half PPR, K. Dotton, George Kittle, Tez Johnson, Woody Marks. Let's mix it up here a little bit. Let's get Woody Marks for the more or less guaranteed production, and let's go K. Dotton with, George Kittle. I almost slipped the tongue there. I really like K. Dotton this week. You've actually got 4 very good options. I love the Buccaneers going into New Orleans and hanging dong on this Saints defense. Baker, if you're starting Buccaneers players this week, what you wanted is a bad Baker game last week because you know the bounce back's coming. So feel pretty good there. Let's give you the K. Dotton stats this week, guys. K. Dotton tight end 8, 10.7 projected PPR points. No Evans, no Godwin, no McMillan. Tez Johnson's really the only other target earner there. Sterling Shepard will play, but that's about all he'll do. So feel pretty good there about Kittle. Feel pretty good there about Marks. Drake May or Dak. That's a fun one. Let's fall back on it here. It's hard not to play Drake May, guys. I know he's got a good defense he's going up against, but he is my MVP of the season so far. Drake May is our quarterback 6 on the week with 20.2 projected points. Dak is our quarterback 9 on the week with 19.4. So Dak going into Denver, I don't know. I'd probably go with Drake May there just for the rushing upside. I mean, Dak's still going to have a pretty good game, but I like the ceiling of what May can do. I like his ability to spread the ball around. Dak is probably still going to put up some points. The implied point total there is 23, which is pretty decent against against Denver. But the same thing for Patriots. Patriots implied point total is 23.75. So the math tells you Drake May. That feels good. So Mike Kinney, thank you for fact checking me on that Sauce Gardner thing yesterday. Had a kid's birthday party I was at. I was having some garage beers, doing some fun stuff. So I wasn't quite in the up to the date on the latest Jets injury news, but also why would I want to be? Why would I want to be? It went crazy. 6-1 in Dynasty. Just traded Bucky for CMC, Brian Robinson in third. Talk to me honest thoughts. You want my honest thoughts about this trade? I'd love to give you my honest thoughts about this trade. You traded Bucky for CMC, Brian Robinson, and a third. Okay.
Oh, well, pardon me, Mr. Perfect. I guess I forgot that you never ever make a mistake.
Guys, that's how you leverage future strong assets for in-the-moment top dog dominating assets. CMC is in line to finish close to, if not the wide running back 1 overall. That's how you win leagues. I really like Bucky. Bucky's an incredible player. I'm a Buccaneers fan, but if you can leverage that into having a strong, like take that 6-1 to 13-1, you got to do it. That's why you're winning. You're playing to win the title. All right. You're not playing for future assets. Let's say that. Fant or Jonnu Field. Good morning, George, by the way. Look at that cute little pup there. That cute little guy. Love dog pics. Fant, like I said earlier, I start your Bengals against this Jets defense. Fant right now he's our tight end 24 on the week, which is pretty low when it's saying it like that. 6.7 full PPR points, but Jonnu Smith is our tight end 22, 7.7. Crowded room there, taking on a tough Green Bay defense. So give me Fant there just because you're looking for the touchdown, right? Either one of these guys give you equal opportunity, or not equal opportunity. There's an equal chance, I would say, that they get that touchdown. I just think that it's more likely personally that Fant is the one who brings it down. So Michael Colismo. Hey, Michael, if you were here at the early part of the show, you were one of the guys I apologized to for one of my picks last week. I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to go through my 12-step program of apologizing for can't be apologizing for correcting my sins, condoning my sins, something like that. Somebody help me out here. Some good Catholic person help me out. Mason Taylor, Alec Ayumanor, or Darnell Mooney in the flex. Thank you. Let's get to the Darnell Mooney rank here. Darnell is the Drake London destroyer. He's our wide receiver 46 on the week at 9.3 points, but that's probably his floor, taking on a brutal Miami Dolphins defense, and we could be looking at a banged up or out Drake London. So it's going to be hard for me to start Ayumanor, who is our wide receiver 48 on the week, and Mason Taylor, who is our tight end. Where are you, Big Mace? Is he up there? He's tight end 5 on the week with 11.3 projected PPR points. So, man, you're looking at a pretty big gap there. I still like Mooney. Just not interested in a Justin Fields passing attack. I'm sorry. If you're on the show next week for another apology from me, I don't know what I'll do with myself because I care about you guys and I love you guys, but I'm just having a lot of trouble throwing Mason Taylor into a lineup there. We'll put it like this. He's our tight end 5 on the week. He's projected 11.3 points. Darnell Mooney is our wide receiver 46 on the week. He's projected 9.3. So only a 2-point difference, and you get the big playability with Mooney. So let's go with that. Carlos wants to know, should I hold on to Henderson in redraft or drop him for Isaiah Davis and the Jets? I mean, this would depend on your record. If you're in a good position, I would hold on to him. If you're going to end up needing, like if you're in a hole or you're trying to climb out, or there's a 100 different reasons why you might need some instant play, maybe Davis is the move. He's a pretty nice little back. Player Profiler compares him to Tyler Algier if he can get some work. He is a contingent RB, like top 15 running back if they trade Hall, which I don't think they're going to, but if he gets hurt, I guess is what I should have let off with it. Because he is dealing with a little something. He's a nice stash is what I would say. And if you're in a power position, I would hold on to Henderson. But if you need, I might need somebody who busts on the scene here in the next 2 to 3 weeks, not weeks 14, 15, 16, I'd go for Davis. Pitts or Ingram? Imagine asking this question in 2025. Pitts is our tight end 11 on the week. 10.1 points, and Ingram is our tight end 16 on the week, 9.2. Taking on Dallas though, I like that there. I like Ingram there. Pitts wishy-washy. I know he gets Dallas, or he gets Dolphins, who are equally as pitiful. But Kirk Cousins coming in, it's not great rapport there. Up and down season with him last year. Just maybe if Drake London's out, I might lean Pitts if he's officially ruled out. But if he's even on the field, I'll take Evan Ingram there. Fields or Mariota? Give me, where's the Mariota ranking this week? Mariota's our quarterback 15. Damn, the coffee's good. He's our quarterback 15 on the week here. He's projected 17 points going into KC. KC's playing very well lately. They held the Raiders to 30 plays. Is a Washington Commanders offense with Marcus Mariota good enough to go in there and get you what you need? It's possible. They're going to give them 18.5 Vegas implied point total. So they do think there's some action that can be had there. Let's go with Mariota. He's got McLaurin coming back. He's got Debo. He's got Ertz. Justin Fields has nothing but his legs. So similar players, I guess. Mariota, a little bit better of a passer, all that jazz. So, Donald, I'll be right back for you. Kenneth wants to know, full PPR, Woody Marks or Jalen Waddle? Oh, I wish they would have given us a little bit more clarity on the Jalen Waddle injury situation this week. I know he left the game late, shouldn't have been on the field even. Hasn't been a whole lot of buzz. As of right now, I think he is on track to play. Of course, we're recording at 8 o'clock in the morning, East Coast time. Taking all of that out of the equation, though, he's our wide receiver 8 on the week. He gets the Falcons, who have kind of been a mixed bag when it comes to wide receiver production. So 16.3 projected full PPR points. We'll go it like this, Kenneth. I'll be a little baby boy. If you need ceiling, you go Jalen Waddle. If you need floor, you go Woody Marks. As simple as that. So look at your matchup, look who you're playing against, and let that be your guide. Let's get back to Donald. Donald wants to know Huntley or Mac Jones. Mac Jones, baby. The league leader in passing yards per game. Mac Jones, 17 projected against Houston this week. Houston's gettable. I know that they're a very strong defense, but they are gettable. Saw Sam Darnold do it. Think that they're capable of doing it as well. So Ken wants to know should I start Dart or Mayfield? Now we're getting into the fun stuff. Mayfield just got a great matchup this week going against Saints. He's our quarterback 5 on the week, 20.8 projected full PPR points. Coming in hot. God forbid a white boy get a little motion going. Now, of course, obviously that can apply to Jackson Dart as well, but I think the Eagles are coming for Jackson Dart's lunch. They got absolutely coin-starred on Thursday Night Football a couple of weeks ago, which for those of you unfamiliar with getting coin-starred, it's where they fill your ass up with change and pull dollar bills out of your mouth. I don't think they're going to let that happen again. That's our coin-star quote of the week. Jackson Dart is projected 18.7 full PPR points. Now, I think Dart is still a good play, but just comparing him to Mayfield, give me the Mayfield money right now. Kicker question, Jake Romo versus Jake Elliott.
Shut the fuck up, okay? Shut the fuck up!
I'm just kidding, money man. I got you. Jake Romo versus Jake Elliott. Give me Jake Romo there. I think that if the Eagles are going to pile on, they're going to pile on with touchdowns. Not going to be a whole lot of Jake Elliott love there. So, what do we got here? Mike Kinney. I don't blame you. I only knew because I was checking on Wilson. Thank you. No, I appreciate that. I appreciate you guys checking out. If you guys, the most important thing about this show is the chat. It's not what I say. It's not the clips I play. It's not Matthew McConaughey in the background here. Giving you a little. It might be Madra Goodell. It might be Groot up here in the corner. It's you guys in the chat. So if you guys always have good quality information to make me look like less of an a-hole, it's always appreciated. If you guys also have advice on some of these other questions, you guys want to help each other out, get a little community vibe going. I always think that's fun. So it's all about you guys. Caleb or Stafford, ROS, non-PPR. Also, would you start Fields over Caleb? I mean, ROS, probably going to lean Stafford there just because, I mean, he's the league leader in all the good passing categories. And I think that while Caleb's playing well, you can see the shift in the offense and what they're trying to do. So I'd probably go Stafford there. Don't come to me in week 13 when Stafford's he's out with an injury report and Jimmy Garoppolo starting games and Caleb is like the quarterback for that week. Stafford's dealing. He's got Puka coming back. He just put up 35 without Puka. That's the guy. That's the kind of guy you want. He's this year's like Joe Burrow. That's what you're getting out of Stafford. Donald would like to know PPR, pick one flex, Matthew Golden, Troy Franklin, Darius Slayton, Harold Fannin. Do you get any boost is this a tight end premium at all? If it is, I would love Harold Fannin here going up against New England. But otherwise, let's give you the ranks from these other folios. Matthew Golden, wide receiver 32 on the week, 11 points. Troy Franklin, where are you, Troy? Wide receiver 44 on the week, 9.5 points. Slayton way down there, wide receiver 55 on the week, 8.6 points. Gut says Franklin in this one, to be honest. But if you wanted to go Harold Fannin out there, who's projected 9 points, I mean, Harold Fannin is the guy. He's that dude. So in order of that one, I'm going Franklin, Fannin, Golden, Slayton. Feel nice about that. PPR, pick one flex, Worthy or Dowdle. Oof, man, what happened to Xavier Worthy, guys? One of the worst picks of the season. And not really because he's a bad player. Obviously, he's a good player. But just the brutal injury to start the year and then falls off the cliff in these last 3 weeks. Just a lot of tough things to stomach. He's our wide receiver 18 on the week going up against Washington. Washington does have an unbelievable amount of injuries to the defensive line, to the secondary. So KC could pour it on again here. But the problem is they poured it on last week and he did nothing for us. So he's projected 13.7 PPR points. Dowdle is projected 11.8. So give me Dowdle until I see that Worthy is going to be more than just like last year's Jamison Williams. So I don't even know if we can give him those credentials yet. If he can, I want to see Worthy step up, and I want to see him be a focal part of the game plan. Geis wants to know, pick a QB2 this week, Tua, Dalton, or Huntley. I'm going with Dalton there. Tua, I don't have 1 second for Tua. Tua's going up against Atlanta. Tua could be benched at any point in this game, as we saw last week. He's our quarterback 23 on the week, which, just to give you, that doesn't sound so bad, right? Quarterback 23. There's only 26 quarterbacks this week, guys. So he is our 4th worst, 15.1 points. Falcons have been pretty damn good on defense. Not amazing, but pretty damn good. So Dalton, he gets the start. He's got the weapons. Buffalo reeling a little bit. The over now. Who's got the highest projected point total here? That's going to be Andy Dalton at 19.5 implied Vegas point totals for the Panthers there. That's higher than the Ravens, and that's higher than the Dolphins. Tough times for the Dolphins. Tough times for the Ravens. Browns defense or Kansas City defense? Kansas City for sure. Algier or Bilbo in full PPR. So Bill, he's fallen from the ranks of top 5 running back in our rankings all the way down to running back 13, going up against the Chiefs, 16.7 projected points. That's a tough one. I mean, 16.7 against a Chiefs front 7 that has been playing lights out. We saw what they did to Genty last week. We saw what they've been doing to a lot of people here lately. Let's get some nerd stats in here for you guys. The Chiefs rush defense is they're actually pretty far down there. So they're bouncing back from an early season crapola. They're 23rd in rushing EPA, but they're top 10 over the last month. So they're rounding into form is more or less what's happening. Tyler Algier, RB28 on the week against the Dolphins, 9.8. Give me Bill there. I'm not going to give up on Bill after 1 week. I know I just did a lot of poo-pooing on what could be going on there, but give me Bill. Feel good about Bill. Jaden Higgins or Hutchinson's for Texans in PPR. Give me Higgins, man. I cannot do any more of these Braxton Berrios, Xavier Hutchinson snaps. It's got at some point. This is probably the most what you were supposed to be to what you are offense, as far as like, hey, supposed to be pretty good. Wow, you're one of the worst I've ever seen. And I think the only answer here is to unlock these rookies. That would be Higgins. That would be Noel. So let's get Higgins in there. Let's have some fun here. They're going to have to put up points against the 49ers. They are, and where is Higgins this week? Jaden Higgins he's our wide receiver 54. He's pretty far down there. 8.2 projected points, but the implied point total for the Texans is 20.7. So they think that they're going to have to score. So you're either looking at Woody Marks, you're looking at Dalton Schultz, you're looking at Jaden Higgins, you're looking at Jalen Noel. Hutchinson, I just don't feel like you can't, right? You can't. Please don't. Ramondre or Monungai. It's got to be Ramondre until we get any indication otherwise that he is not the workhorse there, which I can't even believe I'm saying it. Running back 21 on the week. I know he's got a tough matchup, but he should get the lion's share of the carries. He's projected 13 points, 23.75 implied points for the Patriots. So I know it's a tough front, but I think if Patriots can move the ball, which I think they can, he's going to be the biggest benefactor of that. Chubb or DJ Moore. Oof. That's an honest reaction, Space Monkey. Chubb is he's pretty far down there in the ranks this week. Running back 32, 8.1 projected points. You compare that to DJ Moore, who has also taken quite the tumble. He is our wide receiver 33 on the week. It's only because they think that they're projecting a lot of points in this matchup for the Bears. So 11.2 for DJ Moore. I'm having a lot of trouble recommending anybody play DJ Moore. So for that, I'll say Nick Chubb. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do something very rare that you don't see a lot of analysts do. I am going to change my mind midair, and I'll say, you get that feeling sometimes where you're like, I feel so strongly about something, and then the opposite happens, and you're like, it's only because I felt so strongly about said thing. I feel so strongly that DJ Moore is going to just not be a guy that maybe you kind of want to play him this week. So let's go with that here. Let's go with DJ Moore. And just Chubb he's getting phased out is what's going on there. DJ Moore, he's at least on the field. He's at least got a high snap share. So you're just maybe a DJ Moore touchdown all that ends up being the difference this week. Let's see if do I have any notes on DJ Moore? Let's look at it here. So his full snap share, 93%. He's on a low volume offense. He needs game script to boost. And that's the thing is I just don't know how much he's going to get it against this Ravens offense. I just can't do a whole lot. You compare that to, do I have any notes on Chubb? No, I don't even have any notes on Chubb, so that tells you everything you need to know. What's the dog's name? This is Groot. He is an 8-year-old Aussie Pyrenees mix. He's an absolute man here. He's a dog. He's a beast. He's a beast. He's a dog. Juwan Jennings or Jalen Noel. That's a fun one. I like Noel this week. He is a hipster pick for the fantasy football nerds. They think that if anybody's going to kind of take this step up here with Nico out, they do feel strongly about Noel. Let's see here where he's at in our ranks this week. He's our wide receiver 36, which is pretty good. Wide receiver 3, low end flex play, 10.3 points on the week. He's just the best looking. He's the best looking player on this offense from a wide receiver standpoint that is not Nico Collins. I think he looks better than Christian Kirk. He looks better than Jaden Higgins, who I still think looks good. He looks better than Dalton Schultz. Let's see if I can find some notes on him. And then Juwan Jennings, I mean, he's just, what is Juwan Jennings? What is he? What is Juwan Jennings? So Texans, let's see it here. Where are my notes on Jennings? Jennings has got, so he is returning from injury. He might be drawing. Here's the thing about Jennings. This is the guy that might be drawing Derek Stingley. So if it's funny to think that a top cornerback in the league has to be assigned to take out somebody like Juwan Jennings, but that's the way this defense rolls sometimes. So in that situation, let's go with Noel here, who I think has upside and floor potential. So I am going to take a quick break while we hear from the Podfather. And when we come back, we'll power through the rest of these start sit guys. I promise you.
Oh, working out so important for your health, for your sex life, for everything, just everything in general. I perform better across the board, podcasting, you name it. The last thing I need to be thinking about is, creating a new workout routine. That's why we have FitBod. It prevents you from plateauing. It's so customizable in that I have one super strong shoulder and one kind of weak shoulder. And yet the FitBod app helps me customize my workouts to improve the strength and the endurance. I go in, my physical therapist is like, I can't believe you're doing this many. And I'm like, I know. Can you believe this? And he's like, yeah, this is crazy. So level up your workouts. They have over 1,000 demonstration videos. And join FitBod today to get your personalized workout plan, which includes 25% off, or try the app for free for 7 days. Go to fitbod.me/player, fitbod.me/player, FITBOD/player for 25% off for 7 days free.
All right, let's get back to it. Love the process on DJ Moore. Thank you. You know what? It's an emotional game on top of an analytical game, guys, and you have to be willing to see where you could be wrong and how things are going to screw you. And I get screwed a lot. Henry wants to know. Good morning, Henry. Marvin Mims, Alec Pierce, Tyler Algier, full PPR. Alec Pierce coming on a little bit. Had a nice little 5 for 95 last week. I think it could be a fun touchdown week for Alec Pierce. He's one of my fun anytime touchdown plays of the week. So, and they have, like I said earlier, they have the highest employed point total for from Vegas this week at 30.5. So I'm feeling pretty good there. I'll go back up. Mims has just been a boom bust guy. So we got Alec Pierce. He's the down the field target. Titan secondary is also depleted. No L'Jarius Sneed. I think they're missing another starter as well. So he's a nice wide receiver 3. It's going to be a boom bust play for him. So I guess it depends on what you need. Rankings wise, he is our, where are you, baby? He's our wide receiver 55 on the week, but it's just because there's 5-6 guys that can score on this Colts offense at any given time. So 8.1 projected PPR, full PPR points. You compare that to, say, Mims, who's at 10.4. He's get the Dallas matchup. So I think I like Pierce here. I just like the way this offense is humming. I would go Pierce for ceiling, Algier for floor. So if you're in a tight one, maybe you do roll Algier there. If you're just trying to get those 9-10 points guaranteed, maybe even 7, honestly, depending on how nuts Bijan goes. But Pierce is going to be on the field, high snap share, hopefully get some targets downfield, and hopefully gets in the end zone this week. So I like that one there. Ray, good morning. Cheers, everybody. Let's get a coffee drink. Damn, that's good. Good morning. With London questionable tag, would you flex London, Kittle, or Krosky Merritt? Look at you in a good spot. Look at the diversity in your portfolio right there. If London plays, I like London. So that's a tough one, even with the questionable tag. He's got him and Kirk Cousins can tear it up. He's got a nice little matchup here. I think Kittle's going to do pretty well this week. We've got Kittle. So point-wise, we haven't talked a lot about London because he's questionable, but if he plays, we're projecting him at 16.7 full PPR points. And that is a full 5 points more than Kittle and pretty in line with Bill Krosky Merritt. So I just like the matchup for London. I like Cousins coming in for some stability. I would still roll out London in that scenario. So Mr. Sanchez wants to know Brashad Smith or Trevion Henderson. Bye weeks got me suffering. This is another one with Henderson where give me a week late, then a week early. I've been 7 weeks early on Henderson. I'm not doing it anymore. Nobody fools Chuck Bass 8 weeks in a row. So give me Brashard Smith here, who they have said nothing but good things about. He's starting to get more touches. Kareem Hunt banged up. I believe they said Kareem Hunt was still going to play, if I'm not mistaken. He was limited all week, but he is expected to play. But either way, I still like Smith just because even with all three of those guys in the rotation, he's going to get more touches than Henderson. So watch Henderson have a long touchdown here and make me look like a fucking idiot. Geis wants to know pick 2, Pacheco, Booty, or Bourne here. Pacheco, let's talk about the Chiefs a little bit more here. Pacheco's coming on. He's our RB26 on the week, 10.2 full PR point. I think he's just rounding a little bit more into form. Maybe we downplayed a little bit the length of recovery time for a player like Pacheco and that ankle injury that he had coming back. So while I don't think that he's ever going to have that dominant backfield share like he had a couple years ago, I think you're seeing Kareem Hunt's stock kind of start to come down a little bit, and Brashard Smith is going to have a role as well. But as far as just like goal line work, potential breaking off a long run, feel pretty strongly there. And because Booty and Bourne are still going to be boom bust. I mean, that's just how the Patriots operate, and that's how the 49ers are operating right now. So I don't dislike any of these plays, but I'll take Pacheco ahead of these guys. And just to give you the rankings there, if you're like, Chuck, just give me the rankings. That's the only reason I'm here. Bourne is our wide receiver 29 on the week at 11.7 full PPR points. And Mr. Boutte is, my fingers will work, wide receiver 52 on the week because he's got the Browns. So 8.6 projected PPR points. Good morning, Dylan. Good morning. Zay Flowers or Bill this week. That's a fun one. Zay Flowers, if we can ever get, where are we here? Zay is our wide receiver, 38 on the week. Brutal. Now he's taking on the Bears, 10.1 projected points. The Bears are implied point total of 28.25 points. Or not the Bears, the Ravens. So they still project the Ravens to have a good game. That might have been with Lamar in there. I feel like that comes down with Huntley a little bit. But the thing with the Bears is they're missing 3 secondary players. So if Tyler Huntley can be league average, there's a chance that Zay breaks loose. Zay was one of my biggest risers of the year, which is hilarious because he hasn't finished higher than wide receiver 31 since week 1 when he finished as the wide receiver 1 overall. But it's almost entirely due to Lamar being gone. The way Zay's being used this year is awesome. He's gone from like a gadgety design target guy to like a focal point of the offense, which is what you want to see from a guy taking a leap. Progression has been pretty linear, which I'm really a fan of. So I like a big second half from Zay Flowers once Lamar comes back. But this week in particular, yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Let's go with Zay this week. Let's go for some action. No Cooper Rush, little Tyler Huntley. They're coming off of a bye. Let's go with some Zay. Feel good. I got you on this one. Pick 2, Space Monkey wants to know. There's a lot going on here. Moms, JCM, DK, or DJM, kick and punt return yard lead. Out of all the, if you're getting kick and punt return, go with the league leader in scrimmage yards, who's taking on the Colts, who are projected to score 30.5 points. So if the Colts have to kick the ball off 6-7 times, you want the guy who's returning all of those. So rock with the young fella. Fields, Caleb, Stroud. It's a must-win week, 2-5. Let's say it. Yeah, I feel you on that one. In a must-win week, Stroud's missing his top dogs. Fields is missing his top dogs. Caleb has all of them. So if you need high floor, I'll go with Caleb Williams. He's projected to score 20 points, which is higher than both these other guys by a decent margin. So go with Caleb there. Troy Franklin, Mooney, or Kittle. Give me Kittle. Manuel wants to know, good morning. Good morning to all you guys. Or to some of you, good evening. Manungai or Isaiah Davis in a full PPR flex point. Give me Manungai there. He's gotten better and better every week. Snap shares going up, volumes going up. He's got a really nice matchup against a pitiful ass in a bag Ravens front seven. They are coming off of a bye, but this is a team that can get you, and I think Monangai will get you. I like Davis as a stash going forward, but not necessarily this week in particular. Big Zay guy, hurts to sit him. I know, man, it sucks. Love the assurance. Thanks for the insight. Always, man. I got you guys covered. One of the things that's just really encouraging about Zay, I know I mentioned his involvement in the offense, and while we have a second here, I want to get to because we only have one more start sit in the cat chat currently. So I want to get to some encouraging notes on Zay. If you're just looking like we're trying to look for trade targets, guys we can acquire who aren't really getting us the production that could be going forward. And we had Evan and I went over some interesting numbers for Zay. So he's 8th in target share. And you got to remember, this is with Cooper Rush and Lamar and Huntley. He's 8th in target share, 5th in route participation, 11th in design targets. What else we got here? What are the other fun ones? 6th in yards after the catch, 5th in yards per team pass attempt, number 1 in true catch rate, number 1 in juke rate. Let's go. Let's get some wide receiver juke rate stats going on here. And he's top 20 in win rate versus man, top 20 in win rate versus zone, yards per route run versus man. He's having a really good top 20 wide receiver 2 season from an efficiency standpoint. We just need Lamar to come back so we can match that with a wide receiver production standpoint. So that's going to be the difference between him finishing as the wide receiver 24 and maybe the wide receiver 14 down the stretch, which I think, I'm not going to say league winner because you're only a league winner if you perform during week 17. I feel very strongly about this. Geis wants to know, start 2, Dart, Caleb, Mariota. Oh, man. My gut says Caleb and Mariota, but what kind of sick freak gets off the Jackson Dart train when it's running full steam ahead? The Eagles have Jalen Carter back for this one, who they did not have for the previous matchup. So does that front seven make it a little harder for Dart to get out in action and get those rushing yards? He was kind of saved last week by that freak Theo Johnson play, which kind of made his numbers look a little better than they were. So you know what? Let's go with guys. You guys are killing me this morning. Let's go with Dart because maybe he just is that dude. Maybe they have a good game plan for playing the Eagles. It's a divisional opponent. Maybe Brian Daboll just knows a little something. This will be Brian Daboll's 4th time playing a Vic Fangio defense in the last 2 years. So maybe he just has the juice. So let's go with Dart and let's go with Caleb. And let's think that maybe the Chiefs defense just shuts down Mariota in this situation. All right. What do we got here? Who's next? Jay Penn wants to know. Good morning, my friend. Good morning, my lovely. Would you start Kelsey, Bowers, and Gadsden next week in a double flex week? I know you like a big tight end. Nobody in the world enjoys a bigger tight end than me. So we're looking at Kelsey, we're looking at Bowers, and we're looking at Gadsden. Yeah, I would. Absolutely, I would. There's a lot of momentum around National Tight Ends Day, which is coming up right now, but we're talking about next week. But I think you ride the wave. I think it's going to be National Tight Ends Month. The tight ends have been smoking fools. Tucker Kraft, Tyler Warren, Goddard, Ferguson, Kincaid, Otten, Schultz, Hunter Henry, and then Harold Fannin. Theo Johnson's getting in the end zone. Colson Loveland's coming on. Juwan Johnson had a return to form last week. And then we had 3 tight ends score in the Pittsburgh Cincinnati game 2 weeks ago. So it's like tight end month. And so I would rock that out. And I mean, the thing is with all those guys, they're hyper involved in the game plan. They're hyper athletic. And it's kind of all you need out of the tight end position. They're going to get the red zone looks. They're going to get the looks deep down the field. Feel good, feel hot. I think Bowers is going to come on strong in the second half because that team doesn't have anything else to do. They are pitiful, pathetic. They are ass. And I like Bowers for a nice rebound there. Mike Kinney wants to know, Ramondre Stevenson or Rico Dowdle in half PPR. Oof, it's a funny one. Let's fall back on the rankings here. Ramondre, gosh, man, the Ramondre, I want to keep feeling good about him. And then I remember he's playing the Browns, who the Browns have just been lethal. And the Browns ranks when it comes to taking on opposing running backs is pretty high, but specifically from a data standpoint, you're looking at the number one rush defense in EPA. So combine that with the second best rush defense by success rate. That's pretty damn brutal. And then you've got Rico taking on the Bills, who the Bills are pretty mediocre in those categories. So let's give me Rico there. I think they're going to try. I don't think the Panthers are going to get blown out here. So I don't think that they are going to. I mean, the Panthers might be down for 10-14 most of the game, but when that's the case, they've still shown a desire to run the ball and run the ball pretty effectively. So I still think Rico is going to be involved. He's going to get goal line work. He's going to alternate with Chuba, but he's that dude. Says, good morning and good luck this week. Yes, good luck to all of you. Why don't we just real quick, I'll give you guys our top 12 at each position. That feels like a nice little what's up. So at running back, we have in order, Bijan Robinson 1, Jonathan Taylor 2, Christian McCaffrey 3, Devon Achane 4, Derrick Henry 5, Josh Jacobs 6, James Cook 7. James Cook regressing a little bit. What's going on there? Cam Scatterboo 8, Javonte Williams 9, Rashad White 10, who Rashad White was one of the Podfather's plays of the week going into New Orleans there. If you're looking at DFS lineups, if you're looking at quick six, super slam lineups, all that fun stuff. Jalen Warren, excellent last performance against the Bengals, 130 plus yards. Kind of doing it in all different ways. He's our running back 11. And then Saquon, running back 12 on the week. So Saquon taking a little bit of a tumble here. Jared wants to know, can't decide on Kirk Cousins or Justin Fields to run today. Yeah, I know, man. That's a brutal one. That's been a big one for me. Any league where I was starting, because of buys or injuries or anything like that. If I was starting like Spencer Rattler or a Cam Ward or a Carson Wentz, which I didn't this week because I'm smart as fuck. But I'm looking at which one of these dudes do I pick up off the lineup? The way I'm looking at it is I'm looking for Kirk Cousins is going to have a high floor. I think he's got 14 points minimum in him going up against this Dolphins defense, which is just like they're 1 week away from the entire team buying a rope. And then Justin Fields is your ceiling play, right? Like he's our quarterback, 13 on the week. Bengals defense still horrific. We saw the stories that the Bengals crushed. The Bengals offense dominated the Steelers defense, but Aaron Rodgers threw 4 touchdowns, 4 of them going to tight ends. So that is a tough defense to not start guys against. So Justin Fields will be your ceiling play there. Kirk Cousins will be your floor play. Good morning. The lovely Tootsie Pop is with us. Good morning. Hello, all you beautiful people out there. Would you rather start CJ Stroud or Marcus Mariota or poke your eyes out? I'm doing two. I'm picking 2 of these 3 here. I'm starting Marcus Mariota and I'm poking my eyes out. Do not feel terrific about that, but this could be a game where, the problem here is that while the Chiefs could do what they did last week where they can drop an easy 30 on the Commanders defense, the Commanders offense is actually capable of not dropping a dud. They can actually get you to that 10, 14, 18 point range. The implied points, the Vegas implied points for the Commanders are 18.5. So that could be 2 touchdowns to the air, 1 to McLaurin, 1 to Zach Ertz, and you're getting out of there with 17 points for Mariota. He's going to get you maybe 20, 30 yards on the ground at minimum, so that'll negate any interceptions he's throwing. The problem with Stroud is that he's playing a decent defense. He's missing his top weapon. Offensive line is awful, and the 49ers defense is kind of rounding into form a little bit. So a lot of tricky things happening there. I just Stroud has low floor, low ceiling. Mariota has high floor, decent ceiling. So yeah, and poke your eyes out. Don't forget. Franz wants to know, someone dropped Algier and redraft. Should I drop Luther Burden for him? Short bench. Yes, I do. Yeah, absolutely do that. Luther Burden at best is going to be a boom bust player. Even if, somebody on this offense gets hurt, his snap share goes up. They're just not hyper targeting anybody other than Rome when they decide to do so. So I like Algier as a great low-end flex play and then potential stash if something were to happen to Bijan, whoever knows. But, Algier's still having good games and he's still being involved, even when the team is losing, which usually you'd think he would get game scripted out. That's not happening this year. So wants to know, full PPR, Harold Fannin, the duck-footed prince, or Taylor Swift's future husband, Colston Loveland. So you're asking me my favorite rookie of the year, or a player whose mom follows me on Twitter. That's a tricky one here. I'm going with Fannin any which way that I can. I think there's an opportunity here for the Browns, as good as they are, to still have to keep pace with New England. Fannin's going to be involved early and often, as he has been all year. I think he's a fun anytime touchdown play. This New England defense is not very good. So I think there's even potential for them to, the Browns are going to drop back 40, 50 times just because for whatever reason, that's how they have to operate. Even though they have Quinshon Judkins back there. So I like Loveland. Don't get me wrong. Loveland's still projected 8 points, but he's projected 5 targets, 3 receptions, 35 yards, and no touchdowns. So let's go Fannin there. Loveland is another guy who I want to be a week late on his breakout as opposed to a week early. And let's just look at the tight ends real quick. Our top 12 tight ends on the week, who are going to be our big dogs. Tucker Kraft is the top tight end this week, 14 points. And then followed by that, we have Tyler Warren, tight end 2, George Kittle, tight end 3, Dallas Goedert, tight end 4. Here's a head scratcher. Mason Taylor, tight end 5. They think that Mason Taylor is going to be the recipient of Garrett Wilson continuing to be out. 7 targets, 48 yards, and maybe a touchdown. And then, see, this is the problem here. Jake Ferguson is our tight end 6. I think Jake Ferguson should be in that top 3 every week. I don't care who they're playing. I know they're playing the Denver defense, but this Dallas offense, it's very hard to shut down. Dalton Kincaid, tight end 7. Dalton Kincaid leads all tight ends in yards per route run, first downs per target. He is, just finding a way to stay alive despite not being used in the red zone, despite not being hyper targeted. He's getting the job done. Cade Otton at tight end 8. Great matchup against the lowly Saints. Dalton Schultz, tight end 9, could be the biggest benefactor of any tight end this week due to Nico Collins being out. So I like him as a nice, fun start as well. You can even flex Dalton Schultz, honestly. Gadsden was our tight end 10, and we all know how he did. Kyle Pitts, tight end 11. Hunter Henry, tight end 12. Hunter Henry, low-key fall off. If you just look at – where are you, baby? Hunter Henry over the last month here, really gone back to the Hunter Henry of old. Tight end 25, tight end 33, tight end 25. Is he just not a spooky season guy? I don't know what's going on here. No touchdowns, not a single game over 4 receptions. Maybe those 2 weeks against the Steelers and the Panthers in the middle of the season were more, maybe he's just going to be a defensive matchup, and he's playing the Browns this week is a no-no. Falcons next week, another no-no. So sorry for your Hunter Henry owners out there. If you wanted to try and stream somebody like Fannin, you want to stream somebody like Theo Johnson, even Colston Loveland, I wouldn't hate that. It's just a tough go for Hunter Henry here. Geis still around. Geis wants to know Bourne, Jaden Higgins, Algier, or Loveland. That's a tricky one too here. The highest projected point scorer of all these guys is going to be Kendrick Bourne at 11.7. Compare that to Loveland, who is at 8.1. Jaden Higgins is way down there at 8.2. And then Algier was at 9.3. So let's go Kendrick Bourne for ceiling. I still think if Derek Stingley is shadowing or covering, depending on how they line him up, Juwan Johnson, I still think that Bourne could be maybe not the 142-yard guy that we saw back-to-back weeks, weeks 5 and 6, but maybe 80 yards and a touchdown is still in play. Algier, nice floor play too there as well. So I guess it would just depend on what you need. But Bourne ceiling, Algier floor. Michael wants to know full PPR, flex Pacheco or Marks. I could pick up Noel, Downs, or Pierce. Mason Taylor plays with Fields at QB. Do you play him to London? This one here in particular, I like Woody Marks. I like his all-around ability, dual threat, can run the ball well, despite the offensive line taking big steps back, and he's a nice pass catcher. Top 7 pass catcher at the running back position. He's projected 15.2 full PPR points. Pacheco's coming on as well, but he's projected 10, so you're talking about almost 30 more projected in points for Woody Marks there. And I just like what he's shown us every week, so I'll go with Woody Marks in that one. And then Mason Taylor plays with Fields. Do I pivot to London? I guess I'd still play Mason Taylor just because of the lack of target competition there. Playing the great matchup against the Bengals secondary, front 7, all that stuff. So probably still going to go with Mason Taylor. Even I don't think he's a top 5 play, like Player Profiler does, but he's not a tight end 19 play like Colston Loveland is. So, all right, what else we got here? Let's get our top 12 wide receiver plays of the week. And then we can actually get rocking and rolling here, and I'll get you guys on your merry way. Obviously, Jamar Chase, wide receiver 1. Emeka Ibuka, wide receiver 2 on the week. Rasheed Rice, wide receiver 3. CeeDee Lamb, wide receiver 4. Drake London, wide receiver 5. Devonta Smith, wide receiver 6. No A.J. Brown. Big week for Devonta Smith against the Giants, potentially. Justin Jefferson, we already saw what happened there. Jalen Waddle, he's going to be a big pivot one here. Jalen Waddle could be wide receiver 8. He could be wide receiver 28. I just don't know what's going to end up happening with the injury, with the matchup against the Falcons. Just not a lot of fun stuff there. Don't feel great about Waddle. And we could see Quinn Ewers in this game as well. So just something to keep note on. Rome Odunze, wide receiver 9. We need Rome to bounce back here. The last couple of weeks have been tough to take. Cortland Sutton, this is a fun one. He's our wide receiver 10 on the week. 26.5 implied point total for the Broncos there. I like Cortland Sutton. I like 100 yards and a touchdown for Cortland Sutton. George Pickens at wide receiver 11. Ted McMillan at wide receiver 12. And let's just rattle the next few off here because that's where we see it in the start-sit territory. Chris Olave, wide receiver 13. I like a big game for Olave against the Bucs. Diggs, Stephon Diggs, wide receiver 14. DK Metcalf, wide receiver 15. Deebo Samuel, wide receiver 16. Quentin Johnson, wide receiver 17. Ooh, the double bagel, the rare double bagel. And then we got Xavier Worthy, 18. Lad McConkey, 19. Shout out Lad. And then Jordan Addison was our wide receiver 20, deservedly so. I'll say the next 3 guys, Khalil Shakir, wide receiver 21. Really like Shakir this week with Joshua Palmer out, going up against a Panthers secondary that has been very good at turning the ball over, but Josh Allen has been trying to play turnover-free football, so I think Shakir benefits from that. Dobbs is a really good play against the Steelers, and then Wan'Dale Robinson is a great play against the Eagles. So that'll be it for us, guys. I appreciate everybody tuning into the chat. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you've enjoyed all this fascinating content that we've been putting out every week. And I will let our Sears guy get us on our merry way. Cheers.
I cannot live another day without air conditioning.
Says tomorrow's gonna be hotter.
Hotter?
Like yesterday.
Yesterday you said you'd call Sears.
I'll call today.
You call now.
I'll call now.
Now's the time to save on Sears installed central air conditioning. Get 0% finance charge, no billing, and no payments until August with the Sears Charge Home Improvement.
Hey, I want to thank you for being part of this broadcast. If you have any thoughts on it, leave a comment. If you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a like. And if you want to see more shows on the Player Profiler channel, subscribe to it. That's how we know you want more.